folks, how's it all going? Welcome back. An old man in the land of grow. We got the Weber Master Touch Premium, folks. We're going to do a burn-in tonight, and we're going to use that diffuser plate because everybody's asking, with that charcoal basket that's underneath, how long is that going to burn for? So everybody's got a pretty good idea on how long the a grill lasts when you got the charcoal baskets in there from Weber, and obviously when the slow and sear's in there. But that charcoal basket and that diffuser plate, now that's new. So I tell you what, let's get her set up. And we'll run down a few things before we get it fired up. All right, there's the Weber new diffuser plate that's new to this series, and I think it's new to Weber itself. And you know, it's pretty heavy duty. People have asked me, and one guy said it's pretty flimsy, and I said, you know what, I disagree with that. I don't know what gauge it is, but it's there's some weight there. It's pretty heavy. So you know, time will tell on this. And there's the ring, enamel coated, and this looks something similar to what you would find in a Weber Smoky Mountain, except on theirs it's taller. It's actually 2 holes high, and this is just 1 hole high. So I am gonna defer back to the Weber manual as to how I should get this ready. All right, so here's the directions from the actual Weber Master Touch Premium, the US model, owner's guide, and it is stating here that charcoal grate in the bottom, fill the ring with approximately 45 to 50 charcoal briquettes. Spread the charcoal briquettes so they are even with or just below the tarp of the char ring. That's that thing. So let's do this. Now, you know, this isn't going to be scientific, folks, because obviously the temperature and the wind and the altitude and type of charcoal we're using. We're going to use Blue Bag Kingsford today. So I'll tell you what, let's get it set up. You know, I can't believe this is the 3rd video I've done. This is the first time I've noticed that the symbols on the Master Touch Premium are different than it is on the other Master Touches. So what position it's in right now with that oval like that, that means that the vent is closed. Vent is closed. The next one where it has, you're supposed to put it right there, that's the smoking position. And you can see those little, you know, and that's new too. It's got those little round half moons that come off of the vent. And then if you want really hot, fully open, it's right there. So that is, in my opinion, is a lot more easier to understand. I always had to mark mine at half and all that. So I'm gonna put it at this position just for starting up with that. But then once we get her fired up, we're gonna go to the smoke position. And we're actually gonna see how long this thing will run with the briquettes. All right, you can see the pictograms show starting it in the center. So we've got our one charcoal, one lighter cube there in the lighter starter in the center, and we'll get that fired up. All right, so I have marked the time. This will be our starting point to see how long this will hold heat. All right, our fire starter square is done, and we got some ash over going on, so we're ready to put that lid on there and get things closed down. All right, we're on there. You can see the smoke is kind of coming up through the edges there, and we'll get the grate on and close it down. All right, smoke's rolling, love it. I just put the lid down. I'm gonna leave top vent wide open, bottom vent wide open until we get a little bit of temp rolling here. We're not even up to 150 yet. Like I said, just close it down. Folks, I did just walk around and things are pretty tight on the lid. If you watched the very first video, you know I did 2 mods already, and one was just paint that little accent down there with some of the Krylon plastic paint just to give a little bit, make it pop a little bit. And then I did install a 1/2 inch wide by 1/8 inch thick high heat pressure sensitive tape felt to the outside of the rim, and things are nice and tight on it right now. No leaks, everything's coming out where it should be, and that's what I was hoping it would do, and it did. And not to say that it wouldn't do it with the kettle, but this is just some extra insurance along the way. So we'll get the temp up a little bit here before we shut things down a little bit. I'm going to take that bottom control down to the smoke setting, which I showed you before. And then I'm going to probably close the top vent to half and see what that does for temp. All right, smoke's still rolling, folks. We're approaching 180. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to start throttling stuff back a little bit. And I'm going to take this bottom one. Like I said, I like this redesign on this. That Weber did a nice job there. So this represents full. And then these holes, if you got it in this hole over here, that's closed. This one is like the half mark. So it leaves those 3 little tabs on the bottom open, and that's what they're calling the smoke setting. And that's what I got that on. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to take our daisy wheel and we're gonna go to about a half. Now I'm going to walk away for an hour and a half, and actually I'm going to go for a walk, which takes about an hour and a half. And when I get back, give you a look-see. All right, walk's completed. Not too bad for an old man, 5 miles. Came back and yeah, this is what we're looking at, 300 degrees, a little over 300 degrees. So you got to learn the curve here on this thing. So I've throttled it back now to the vent, open maybe a quarter of an inch, if that. And still got some smoke coming out of there, and we'll see what it takes to dial this thing back. All right, so 30 minutes after resetting it to there, and we're still in the smoke setting down below. We did get below 300, and we'll just see and monitor this and see how she keeps on doing. All right, every time you get a new grill, you got to dial it in. So I'm halfway between the smoke dot there and the off dot right there, trying to bring the temps down. I've got the top vent is, you can see, just cracked. Got the lid temp down to just a little over 250, which is good. I put my my ThermalWorks smoke in there with the temp probe, and you can see we're reading right around 276. It's still climbing a little bit, but it's slowed down. So like I said, we're new grill, just trying to dial it in. I do like the holder here, which is, you know, looks pretty nice with the Weber smoke, with the ThermalWorks smoke. But folks, we'll keep on dialing this in, give you one more look-see. I plan on giving you a look-see around the 6-hour mark, and then we're off to bed, and then we'll see if it makes another 6 hours. All right, folks, 6 hours into it, and you can see we're reading right around 225. Been playing around getting this thing dialed in. What I want to do right now is I want to take a look and give you a look and see at 6 hours where we stand on the charcoal. Now, I know it's going to let a bunch of air in, but you know, it's important to see. I know everybody's dying to find out how we're standing with the charcoal consumption at 6 hours. So let's get this off and let's take a look. All right, you can see we are pretty much burnt. I mean, there's quite a bit around the edges, and we're just gonna have to wait and see where this goes. And you can blame some of that on me, letting it get to, hang on, that's just saying it's below 150. Well, let's get the grate back on. I don't think we're gonna get 12 hours from what I just saw. All right, coming back up to temp, folks, so I'll let you know how far it goes, but we'll definitely get 8 hours out of it. I don't think we're gonna get 12 hours based on what we just saw. And remember, a lot of this is that first hour and a half, when I let it get up to 300, then it just took a long time to get it back down. So, you know, this is, I mean, 8 hours isn't bad. And, you know, I look at that charcoal ring, and, you know, they're calling them 45 to 50 briquettes in there. I probably snuck more than there's, probably closer to 60. But I'll tell you what, we'll keep going, and hopefully we'll see you in 4 or 5 hours. All right, folks, we made it to about 2:30 in the morning. That is 10 hours, and you can see we've fallen below 200 degrees. I'll give you a look-see and my final thoughts here in a bit. All right, folks, after 14 hours, we've still got some heat in there, it ain't much. But I'll tell you what, I gotta go to work. We'll tear this apart when I get home from work and give you my final thoughts. All right, I couldn't wait till I went to work. I gotta show you what's left. So that's what's left there. That's what's giving us the 135 degrees. Obviously, you ain't doing much cooking on that, but it did go all night on that. And obviously, like I said, let's dig into this a little bit more, talk about that charcoal ring, and let's talk about that diffuser plate and what that does to the capacity of that charcoal ring. All right, it's after work. Final thoughts, that's what was actually left. I'll save that for the next one. Let's just take a look at the ring upside down with that diffuser plate on top of it. And you can see how it's indented there. And it only gives you, in all reality, you see I've got some charcoal, you know, in all reality, all it gives you is about 2.5 inches of height in there. And that's why when you see that in the instructions wherever it says 45 to 50 briquettes, I just dumped them in there. And you know, in order to get this to fit right and work right with the air in that, I think 45 to 50 is what you're going to do. As you can see, here's some Kingsford Blue right here, and you can stack 2 high, but you can't get 3. And if you're standing on end, you know, you can only get 1. So this is going to be a little bit of a challenge. Like I said, to try and get this to do 12 hours. You can play with the type of charcoal. You can see I've got some of this B&B competition oak. This stuff has a tendency, it says it burns hotter and longer. I know it burns longer. So, you know, we quite possibly will try that instead of the Kingsford, because it is kind of a pain in the butt. But as I showed you last night, I'm starting to ramble now. I'm sorry. As I showed you last night, it's not that huge of a deal, but you do have to take the grate off and in order to get down into this and pour some more charcoal in. It's a lot easier with charcoal baskets or if you're using the slow here. But we are going to cook using this setup because I think there's some real potential there. So, folks, I hope you enjoyed this. Tom Horseman at YouTube, please subscribe. Next time you see this, we're going to be doing some cooking on it. We're going to be doing a more or less a competition between the slow and sear grill. I want you to stay tuned. I know we don't want to see a lot of people asking about that. And then there's going to be some mods coming. I've got a mod planned already. You know, I already did, you know, 2 small ones with painting down there and putting in the felt gasket around, the high heat felt gasket around there. But I've got another one coming up too. So Tom Horseman, YouTube folks, thanks for watching. Really do appreciate it.